Today's daily dose of math is drawing the net of a cube to scale. Earlier, I drew the net of this cube with a side length of 5 centimeters. That's this cube right here. And I drew it here. I drew it at a 1-to-1 scale, which means that all of the side lengths of the squares in this drawing are 5 centimeters, the same as the side lengths in the real original object. And in this case, it was possible to do that and it would be able to fit on a normal sized sheet of paper. But that's not always the case. I could draw this cylinder on a normal sized sheet of paper, but I would not be able to fit the net of the cylinder, the unrolled version of it, on a single sheet of paper, not normal sized paper. So I would have to draw this to scale. I would have to use a scale and make a drawing that's smaller and explain the scale that I'm using. I could even be asked to draw this cylinder, and there's no way that I could draw the net on a single sheet of paper. There's no way I could even draw the cylinder itself on a single sheet of paper. I'd have to use a scale. When you're in that situation where your drawing needs to be smaller than the original object, you tend to use a scale that looks like this. Here I'm writing the scale 1 centimeter equals 2 centimeters, and by that I mean 1 centimeter on the drawing represents 2 centimeters in the real object. It means that all of the dimensions on the drawing will be half as big. And we can also write that in the ruler over real method, 1 to 2. And we notice that when our drawing is smaller than the original object, the smaller number ends up on top when we use ruler over real. I'm going to draw the same cube with this 1 to 2 scale right here. It won't take very long, so please be patient. Okay, so I drew the net of the same cube, but I used a 1 to 2 scale. So therefore, all of the dimensions are half as large as they are in this drawing that was done at the 1-to-1 scale. What if I do the opposite? What if I'm, instead of working with a very large object where I have to use a scale that reduces its size to fit on a piece of paper, what about the opposite situation? Well, that can happen. For instance, what if you're drawing a diagram of a piece of jewelry? A piece of jewelry might be very small, but you don't want the diagram to be that small. You want to be able to see detail in the drawing. So therefore, you would do the opposite. You would use a scale where, for instance, as an example, 2 centimeters in the drawing represents 1 centimeter in the real object, or using ruler over real, a 2-to-1 scale. Notice that the larger number is on top in this case. When the object is small and we need to draw it bigger, we use a ruler over real scale with a larger number on the top. When an object is being drawn so that the drawing is smaller than the original, using ruler over real, the larger number is on the bottom. So again, please be patient with me. It won't take very long. I'm going to draw the same cube once again, but at the 2-to-1 scale. Okay, so that's done. So now we see what it looks like when we draw the net of the cube where all the dimensions are twice as big as they are in the original object. In other words, all the sides of the square on this drawing are 10 centimeters in length, twice as big as the 5 centimeters of the real object. This is how we do a net with a scale, and that is today's daily dose of math. Please like, subscribe, and share.